Now then, my friends, before we start, do me a favour, just hit that thumbs up button for me, and if you're not subscribed, then hit that subscribe button as well. Now then, the other week I reviewed some Indian food that was served to me through a fish and chip shop in Nottingham called the Cod Scallops. It's in a place called Carrington. I did say Sherwood and I got corrected on it. It is in Carrington. They also said to me, and lots of other people said to me, have you reviewed the fish and chips there? I said, well, no, I've had them there and they're really nice, but I've never reviewed them, not on camera anyway. So that's what we're going to do today. We're going to head over there and review the fish and chips. Going to be interesting because I'm normally used to Yorkshire fish and chips, and we all know Yorkshire make the best fish and chips in the world. So come on, let's go. Oh, okay, my friends, I'll tell you what, it's a really nice day, so let's get this roof down, let some sunshine in. Might be a bit windy. Ooh, it's a bit chilly. Oh, ooh, blimey, God, it is a bit chilly, it's a bit deceiving. Anyway, we'll have a bit of a chat on the way to the Cod Scallops. And because we're all friends around here, I'll tell you a little bit more about myself. A few people have been emailing me and saying, where do you come from, and did you grow up in the Lake District, did you grow up in Mansfield? Well, I grew up in both. I was born in Mansfield, and I spent half my time up in the Lake District because my mum had a house up there, so I lived up there a lot of the time. Dragged away from my friends in Mansfield, and didn't really appreciate how beautiful it was actually, and it is now. When I go back, it's gorgeous and I know it like the back of my hand. I went to I went to private school to start with. Private school, eh? Didn't do me any good, so dragged me out of that one. And then I went to school in Mansfield, a couple of different schools in Mansfield. And I got my first job at the metal box in Mansfield, putting the bottoms on bins. I left school with no qualifications, nothing at all. Terrible at school, terrible scholar. And I got my first job at metal box, putting the bottoms on bins. And then my mother, if you just want to see the fish and chip vlog, by the way, you can skip forward to that, but this, I'm trying to let you a little bit more about me here. My mother was a dressmaker, and she had a customer whose son worked at the Mansfield Chad newspaper, and she said, can you get him a job as what was called an advocate clerk, basically a clerk in the art studio, working my way up to be a graphic designer. Little did I know, I didn't want the job. So my mum sent me for this interview at the Chad. I didn't want the job, I wanted to be a videographer and a video guy, but my mum said, you'll never make it in video, there's no jobs in video, you'll never make any money in video. Long way back then, before YouTube. So she basically sent me for this interview. Me being the little that I was, I didn't want the job. I thought, I'm not getting this job, I'm not having this job, I don't want it. So I went for the job interview with a lady called Elaine Meakin, and I sat there and I thought, yeah, I'll do something not to get this job. And started looking through the window, and I remember she used to smoke a lot actually. In fact, the room was filled full of smoke. And she said, why do you want this job? I said, I don't, my mum's just sent me for it. And she went, oh right. She said, what are you looking at? I said, I'm looking out the window. She says, well, this is a job that eventually you'll become a graphic designer. I said, I don't want to be a graphic designer, I want to be a photographer and a video guy. She was like, right, well, why have you come for this job then? I said, I told you, my mum sent me. She was like, right, okay, we'll be in touch. She asked me what skills I'd got in graphic design. I said, none. So she said, we'll be in touch. Anyway, I thought, smart arse here, smart arse. failed this one. Letter comes from the Mansfield Chad newspaper. I've still got the letter actually. It's at my mum's, and March the 17th 1987 it was. And Mum says, oh, is that the letter from the Chad? And I'm thinking, yeah. I opened it up. We are pleased to inform you that you've got the position of advocate clerk, which is, advocate was a book with pictures in and the clip art basically. On the work up to being a graphic designer. I thought, oh, don't believe this. I can't believe that I've actually got the job. And I spent 7 years of my life at the Mansfield Chad training up, becoming a graphic artist. So I became a graphic designer on YTS at the time it was. Who remembers that? Youth training scheme. So I became a graphic designer, worked my way up to studio manager, and I loved graphic design, and I made some, they were the best 7 years of my entire life, and I thank my mum, and I thank Elaine Meakin. And I did say to her eventually, why did you give me the job? And she said, I knew you'd be good. And Paul Featherstone, who was my boss in the studio, he's still on my Facebook page actually, a great guy, and he knew that I'd be good. And I trained up to be a graphic designer, and I moved on eventually. I met some great mates, fantastic times. I was on £35.80 a week at the time in 1987 on YTS, and I loved it, absolutely loved it. And I got married to Sharon, who's now my ex-wife obviously, and you've seen her in the videos. And I got married, I can't remember what year it was, but so I spent 7 years there, 2000 and something, 2000 whatever. So I got married and I moved to the newspaper, Derby Evening Telegraph, as a graphic designer there. I enjoyed it. I spent 2 years there, and I got to meet Carol, who we call Q on the videos, and he was my boss. He's now my friend. He's retired now. He was in the Portugal videos with me, and I spent 2 years there at the Derby Telegraph. Then I left to set up my own partnership with somebody I met from the Mansfield Chad, and I set up a company, a graphic design company there that did very, very well. And after about 7 years, I think, for that, 7 years, maybe a little bit more, I left there and I set up my own graphic design company, of which I still run today. Graphic design and multimedia and video. It's a multimedia company now. I've kind of packed the graphic design in. I lost the love for graphic design, and I think if you lose the love for something, there's no point in doing it. You've got to get up in the morning and want to do something. Like a YouTube, I want to get up in the morning and do YouTube. I love uploading videos, I love recording videos and creating videos. So that's where we are today, doing graphic design. Along the way, I bought a place over in Hoboken in New Jersey, and I moved over there for a while. I got my visa and I moved over there for a while, and then I sold that. Obviously now I've got James and Harriet up in Leeds, exchanged New York and Hoboken for Leeds, but my kids are there, so you know, just getting out this junction, it's really bad, excuse me. So that's where we are today, and I love doing YouTube, and I love doing the travel videos.
Entering average speed check zone.
Entering average speed check zone. There we go. Love doing the videos. Can't wait to travel again. Can't wait to get on planes again. If you've got any ideas of where to go, I seem to go back to Tenerife all the time, but I do want to go back to Tenerife the first time it opens again, when we can travel, so I can do another set of videos there. But I want to travel about. I want to do America. I want to do like 2 or 3 weeks at a time doing travel videos. Then I can come back and I can not be away from my family too long. So that's where we are today. It's a little bit about me, my newspaper background. So I worked for newspapers a lot. Ironic that I say don't watch the news or don't listen to the news, because I actually still work for the newspapers on a contract basis for my company, doing video, not graphic design anymore. So I do corporate video for them. So all the food and drink awards for the Nottingham Post and Birmingham Post, and the business awards at the moment can't do it because obviously of the current situation, but I love doing the corporate videos there as well. So there we go, we're going to head off now to the cod scallops and see what the fish and chips are like there. I hope I haven't bored you too much, but I figured I'd let you know a little bit more about myself, as we're all friends here on this channel. Right, I'll turn this off and I'll see you in a minute. Oh, hello again. Still not there yet. Just coming into Red Hill, coming into Nottingham now. Do you know, I love coming into Nottingham, by the way, because it reminds me of my mum. I did all the I'm babbling today. What a load of cod scallops, eh? There you go. It reminds me of driving around with my mum. I used to put a walking stick down here, down the side of this car, and she used to drop into this car. And a lot of memories in this car with my mum. That's why I'm going to be upset when it goes back in April. Where was I? Do you know, where was I? So I told you these are raw and uncut. So I love coming into Nottingham because all the corporate videos that I did for the Nottingham Post, for all the awards and food and drink awards, and I used to do Leicester as well. My mum used to come with me. I used to bring her with me. I used to put some sandwiches in, or used to go this. We went here actually sometimes, or McDonald's, and I'd drive around with my mum. So it reminds me of driving around with my mum. Still got her in my car, I've told you that. Locket of hair of hers in there, and I've actually got her walking stick as well. So there you go. Anyway, what I was going to tell you is how I actually got into video. I'll tell you this quickly. So I said that about 9 minutes ago, didn't I? Basically, I was into photography. My dad bought me a camera, but my dad got one of the very first video cameras, which was Betamax, if you remember that, and then he swapped it for a VHS one. Betamax was actually better, but it just didn't catch on. I stole my dad's, he kept it on the side of his bed, and I was off ill from school, and I basically took his camera out, put it on a tripod, and I made this blue tack man, a little bit like Morph, and I did stop animation with the camera, and did this little, I did him eating a biscuit, pulling over a vase, jumping up. I used a piece of plate glass window to get him jumping, and stuck into the window. Put the video camera back. I was terrified my dad would find out I'd used his camera. And I showed him on the TV. I thought, oh, just look at this. And he went, what's this? And I said, oh, you know, and he went, that's really good. I said, I wonder who's done that. And I thought, oh, I have to tell him he's going to kill me. I said, it's me, I did it. And he went, what do you mean you did it? And I said, I filmed it. And he said, what with? And I said, your video camera. He said, if you've done that, you can have the video camera. So I was blown away, and I started filming weddings with it, because my uncle Eddie filmed weddings, and he photographed them, and he said, can you video them? So I started videoing weddings. I think I was 14-year-old when I started to film weddings. I was a bit of a geek. I think some of you might have seen the photographs that I've put on my...
Entering average speed check zone.
Thank you. So basically I was a geek, and I filmed weddings, and I went on to film lots and lots of weddings. In fact, my ex-wife Sharon, she still films the weddings, of which I help her out with as well sometimes. So she's actually got a website. If you go to digiteyes.co.uk, which is digiteyes.co.uk, you'll see her website there. So take a look at it. I'll put it in the link, the description down below. And she films weddings all over the UK, and she is brilliant. She kind of took it over from me, and she's fantastic. So there you go, my friends. Just coming into Daybrook now, and there's a chip shop on the right hand side. I'm babbling on. Let's get to where we're going and review these fish and chips. Oh, right, coming into Carrington now. I'm going to park in Lidl car park, where I parked last time with my mum. I hope it's open. Is it open? It's got to be open, surely. Well, I hope it's open, otherwise that will be a load of cod scallops, won't it? Right, I'm going to park over here and then go and get fish and chips. Where's the best? I always park miles away from anywhere, because otherwise you always end up with a ding in your car, don't you? Basically, I got back once years ago. There's a woman basically with a shopping trolley against my car, and I said, "What are you doing?" She went, "It's a what matter, duck? What's it matter? Huh? Huh?" She sounded a bit like that, actually. Right, so I'm going to go and get these fish and chips, and I'll see you in a minute. I think I better put this roof up on second. There we go. Oh, that fresh air has actually given me a bit of an appetite, I've got to say. Hungry. I'm only going to go small though. Don't want to stuff myself up, otherwise you end up feeling tired for the rest of the day. It's open. I can smell them.
Hello.
Hi. Can I just have a small fish and chips, please,
Yeah.
with peas?
Do you want salt and vinegar and butter bits as well?
Yes, please.
Is that everything?
Yes, thank you.
6:30.
Thank you. Do I pay with this?
Yeah.
I tell you what, Nottingham has got more of. These average speed check cameras here, they are literally everywhere. Oh, right, so I've got them. Here we go. And she said, "Do you want a knife and fork?" I think she recognised me from the video, because they've seen the video, and I said I didn't get a knife and fork. I just asked for a fork this time. So here we go, fish and chips. Here we go. How stupid do I look? I'm just doing that for the thumbnail. Anyway, enough of this madness. Let's get in the car and eat them and mark them out of 10. Come on. Oh, right, let's get the window down. Gone over to the, not using the GoPro. GoPro was stuck to the window before. And use the phone. Let's get this window down a little bit. Let some air in. Right, okay. So, you know, I can't remember how much these were actually. They probably have come up on my phone and I can tell you. Let's have a look. Here we go. How much were they? Fish, chips and peas. £6.30. Okay, so that's not too bad. There we go. They've got their own website. Come in a nice little box like that. Look at that. They look good. We've got batter bits on as well, and the peas. In fact, let me just take this. Told you it was raw and uncut. Let's turn this camera around. Okay, so we've got batter bits on there, and we've got the chips in here. Fish, crispy. Not as crispy, obviously, as they were up in Yorkshire, but we'll see. We'll see. Right, okay. I don't know whether I should have asked for these batter bits or not. It's made it a bit messy. Although they are nice. Well, let's try the chips. The chips are very nice. A little dry, a little dry. Get this exposure right on here, look, it's gone a bit, that's better, isn't it? There we go. Let's lock that exposure in there, it was a bit bright. I like that the peas They're in a separate little container, look like that. So you've got a separate little container. I'm going to take the lid off of them. That I do like. That's a good touch. Good touch there. Right, let's taste what they're like though. Nice. Nice. They're nice. They're nice. Nice peas. Right, let's taste the fish. Okay, let's have a look. That's good. No skin on the fish. I don't like skin on the fish. So let's taste the fish. It's nice. I'm going to show you how flaky it is compared to the one in Yorkshire the other day. See what you think. Can you see that? Very nice. Very. I'm all greased up now though. Oh no, the grease has gone through onto my jeans. What's going on? I'm gonna have to have them washed now. Right, I'm gonna have to use that bag. I've now got grease on my jeans. Right, okay. I'll use this napkin. Oh man. Oh no. Right, so we'll carry on eating these. I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll eat them and I'll mark them out of 10 in a minute, and I'll come back to you and let you know what score it is. What do you think they look like compared to the ones in Yorkshire? They are nice, I have to admit. So I'll be thinking of the score. I'll see you guys in a minute. I'm gonna just bring you back in here a minute, right? I'm sort of like just over halfway done now. Is it wrong of me to drink water that's been in the car, by the way, for over a week? I'm gonna have to take some water. Probably get poisoned now. Right, I'm going to show you this. Let me turn this around. Now these are nice fish and chips, but can you tell me the chips there, lot? I've got an issue with the chips at the moment. It's these small ones. The fish is lovely. The fish is absolutely gorgeous. Really, really nice. And I like that the peas are in that separate tub, but I don't know. Are the two little sharp bits? Do you know what I mean? The little sharp ones and the little... That's what I've got an issue with. I'll come back to you in a minute. And look at that. Grease. Grease on my jeans. I'm going to have to get a wet wipe. It's the small bits. This is... Exposure's just wrong again, isn't it? It's too dark. Right, sorry about this. Right. Just the small bits. What do you think? Comments down below and I'll see you in a minute. Right, I'm going to be honest, I've left I don't know if you can see this. Here we go, look, I've left them. They're all bits in the bottom there, so I've left them bits. I'm not going to eat them, but I have to be honest, the cod scallops, I've been there before. And I think I've been spoilt with Yorkshire fish and chips, that's the problem. But the cod scallops is the best fish and chips that you can get in Nottingham, I have to say. But for me, now don't have a go at me, I'm going to say they're a bit too greasy. And I know you're going to say fish and chips are greasy, but never that greasy. And it's literally come through. The chips let them down. The chips I was disappointed with on that. The peas were okay, and I like that they're in a separate tub. The fish was nice and tasty. However, not as tasty as when I went to Woodnook the other day. That literally just blew your head off with luscious taste of fish. That's just a nice taste of fish. I'm going to give them, and I know the guy at Woodnook Fisheries is watching, so what would you mark it out of 10? Comment in below. I'm going to give him a... I feel really bad because it was my mum's favourite fish and chip shop and they are really nice, but they've been let down with the too greasy. Never normally that greasy, and the chips are just too spiky. That's the word I'm looking for. So I'm going to give them I don't want to be, I feel bad. But I want to be honest, and they are worth visiting. But it was just, not if you're in Yorkshire though, obviously don't. I'd say, sorry. Oh, it's hurting because it is a really good fish and chip shop. Let down. I'm sorry, it's a 7. 7. I would have given it a 6.9, but I'm being generous because my mum liked them, and I know they're normally really good. 7. There you go. Don't forget, hit that little thumbs up for me, guys, before you leave, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Oh man, sorry about that.